Hi, Run Your Story family. This is Allison Gilliard with Run Your Story, where every story needs to be heard. And thanks to our Patreon family members, you guys get to hear the most incredible stories by extraordinary people. And thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. Like, you guys are the heart and soul of Run Your Story, and cannot thank you guys enough for sacrificing financially to be able to support this podcast. And anybody that puts on a podcast will tell you that it does take money, and it takes resources, and it takes time. And so it means the world to us to know that there are people in our community that believe in this podcast, that believe in supporting us. And we have different levels. So we have the 5K level, which is $5. We have the 10K level, which is $10. It goes on and on and on. And so we are so indebted to those that believe in us and walk with us, no matter what level that they support us. It means, I get emotional every time I think about it, because it means that people believe in what you're doing, and that's powerful. I can't even begin to describe what that is, because it's priceless. And I absolutely love and adore our Patreon family members. And if you want to join us, we'd love to have you. You can go to Run Your Story and click on the Patreon picture that's right there. We'd love to have you join our Patreon family. And, the more we get to do. And so we're incredibly grateful that we have had people from day one a part of this journey. And they're 4 years in almost. So it's incredible. So thank you to our Patreon family members so much for believing in Run Your Story and making these stories possible. The story possible, like Kimmie Blaich. Guys, buckle up, because this chick is incredible. Shout out to Rachel McRae, who was like, hey, you should get Kimmie on the podcast. And I'm so glad that she did that. Kimmie is just a bundle of energy and a running machine. And guys, you're also going to learn about this really cool organization that her and her best friend created, which is they create pacers. I mean, like, what? That is so stinking cool. The heart and soul of running is Kimmie. Like, she loves running, and she's so good at it. I also love this story, which she so graciously tells us about how she met her husband, and it was through running. Oh, my word, guys. You're going to be hanging on by every word she says. It's that good. So, Kimmie, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for what you're doing in the running community with Pacers. And guys, if you want to learn more about Kimmie and pacing and all that jazz, we will have a link to her website on our social media page, also on the Run Your Story page as well. We believe in Kimmie. We believe in what she's doing, and she is just amazing. So you guys are gonna be blown away by her. So, all right, that being said, lace up those running shoes, get ready, get set, and go run with my friend Kimmie and her run story. Kimmie! She's so excited. I've been looking forward to this since we nailed down this date. And a shout out to Rachel, who on July 4th at Run and Try's event was like, hey, do you know Kimmie? And I was like, I know of her because you're a Blue Bell bomber. You post all the incredible things you do in there. And I was like, she's a little intimidating. I know. But it's the most respectful elite athlete. Here I am, amateur, so below that. And then I reached out to you, and now we're like best friends. Like, you're stuck with me for life now, Kimmie.
I love this. I am so happy.
So that being said, the only thing I know about you is that you are a Coast Guard family, which brought you to Alabama.
Correct.
Okay. And that you are a ridiculously insane runner, Kimmie.
Ish. Things have toned down since getting here.
Okay.
These hills are hard.
Okay.
Moving to Mobile really put my ego in check.
Whoa.
Because in Savannah, we had no hills. Everything was flat.
That's interesting because it's Georgia.
It is, but it's coastal Georgia.
Okay.
In the south.
Okay.
We could do 20 miles and probably have 6 feet of elevation gain for the entire 20 miles.
Wow.
So moving here, as soon as I leave my neighborhood, it is which way am I going and which hill do I want? So yes, it's hard.
So you literally eat hills for breakfast.
All the time.
All the time.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you're a pacer. Like,
I
you've
am.
done all these insane things. I've been so excited about this because I'm like, I get to ask Kimmie all the questions. So what is your run story? Like, how did you get here?
Well, it's not going to be the way you think.
Okay.
So I was 34 years old. I'm going back about 13 years. Now everyone knows my age. But I got home from a conference, and it was May in Florida, and I was so excited to just relax and go to the pool. I put on my bathing suit, I looked in the mirror, and I was not comfortable with what I saw. And my first thought was not, let me go for a run. My first thought was, if I just get a tummy tuck, I'll be better. And then it hit me how ridiculous that statement was. I am 34 years old, and I'm talking about getting a tummy tuck. And I was like, nope. Took my bathing suit off, got changed, put on my shoes, left and went for a run.
Once?
And it was awful. It was so bad. I was out of shape. I could run maybe a quarter mile, probably not fast. And then I had to stop and walk. And it took me 6 months to be able to do a whole lap of my neighborhood, which was 2.5 miles, without stopping. And the day that I could do that without stopping, I came back and I felt like an Olympian. And that's where it started. And I was like, okay, I've gotten past the part where it's really, really miserable. I kind of like this. And it's kind of easy. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need much equipment. Well, we know better now. We know a lot better now. But at the time, it was put on your shoes, put on a t-shirt, put on some shorts, and just go. And I really liked that. And then when I was turning 35, I thought, I'm going to do a 5K. I've never done one. Let me see what it's like. And I went, I just picked one that was in town. Didn't know it was super popular, had a great following, had been going on forever. And I saw all of these people there who just knew each other and they're talking to each other. And I'm like, oh, I don't know anybody. But I still had a great time. And I was like, I think I want to do this again. So I found a run club, started going with them, did a 5K in February, did a 10K in March, did my first half marathon in March. That was also a disaster. Not a great idea, but I was hooked.
Wow. Wow. So prior to that, you had no running experience?
Not really. Active kid.
Okay.
But played soccer, did field hockey. And this is something that I've heard in some of your other podcasts, that as kids, sometimes in sports, running is the punishment.
Right, yeah, sadly.
And it wasn't the fun part of hockey practice or soccer practice. It was a necessary evil. And I just didn't think that I liked it. But that's the kind of fun part, that you come to it as an adult and now you're so appreciative of the work that it takes, but also the joy that it brings.
So I love that, because especially as you mentioned, one with at Hollow the Doll, all the hills that we do, but it's also hot.
Yep.
It's humid.
Yep.
So you finish, but you'll go out for an 18 miler.
Yep.
And it's just, I've done before and I'm just already drenched. Like, so when I see your post at 18, I'm like, go Kimmie, challenge your bad self. Nah. But I think the endurance, and as so many people have said, is so mental. Like,
Yes.
hey, it's one foot in front of the other. You just got to keep going.
Yep.
But so how did you transition to a pacer? Like, how does that happen?
So I will admit, it was very selfish.
Okay.
I was training for a 50K, and my training plan called for a 26-mile run on a weekend when there was a marathon 1 town away from where I was living. And I thought, I could do 26 miles on my own, or I could go and offer to pace this race. I had no clue what I was doing. None whatsoever.
Okay.
But I emailed and I said, hey, do you need a pacer? And by that time I had done maybe 3, 4, 5 marathons. So the distance wasn't a problem, but I literally knew nothing about pacing. And they said, yeah, our 4:30 pacer dropped. We need somebody. And I'm like, great, I'll do it. And so I showed up race morning. They handed me the shirt. They handed me the sign on the pole, and off I went. And I had the best time. I didn't do well. I came in a little too fast, which is a big deal. That faster is not better as a pacer. But there is a photo of me that my friend took. We did not plan this at all. She is watching me from behind. So I'm coming across the finish line. And so she is taking this picture from the back. But she caught me midair as I jumped across the finish line because I had a blast. It was amazing. And that picture is one of my favorites because it really it showcased how much I loved the experience of pacing and volunteering and helping others. And I was hooked. I was so hooked. And that was, that was probably 2014 or 2015.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's been quite the journey. I have learned a lot about pacing, a lot about what not to do, as well as what to do. But yeah, I pretty much don't race for myself anymore because I prefer pacing.
I'm smiling because I can just only imagine you and my friend Clint, who's been on the podcast, who has been a pacer, pacing together. Because the last race that we did at Mississippi Gulf Coast, he was a pacer. I only did the half. He did the full, and he's coming like behind me, just having the best time of his life.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I want the finish line right now.
Yeah.
Let's just finish this.
Yep.
And he's just like high on life, like living it up. And so y'all's personality, honestly, I don't think anybody could handle it. I don't think anybody would be like, that's too much. That's too much for me. Wow.
Yeah.
So how many races have you paced?
So for marathons, I've paced, I think, 59.
Guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being a pacer. That's
Thank
incredible.
you. It is such a joy. It is the biggest honor. It is the biggest responsibility. I show up more nervous when I'm going to pace
Really?
than if I was going to race,
Wow.
because I do not want to let anybody down. And I am stressed out. I am nervous. I am checking my watches, checking my shoes, checking my gear. I have studied the course, but I'm not going to let anyone know that I'm nervous because I want them to have complete faith in me. But pacing, we like to say it's the best unpaid job out there. And it is amazing. It's hard and it's stressful, but it is so incredibly rewarding.
I absolutely love that. And not only has running opened up pacing for you, but coaching.
Yeah.
So how did you go into that?
Yeah. I think it ties into what I do as my full-time job.
Okay.
I'm a teacher, so I love helping people. I love getting them to see their own potential and taking them to the next level. So it just really was a natural next step. So when my best friend and I started our company, Elevated, running and pacing, we thought we're going to do it from 3 different angles. We're going to train pacers, we're going to create pace teams, and we're going to train athletes.
Wow.
And so we have worked with people who just want to train to get ready to go on a trip where they're going to be walking all the time because they're exploring a new city or a new country. We work with people who are getting ready for a 5K. We get ready for people who are going to do a half marathon and they're shooting for a PR. We've worked with people who are aiming to qualify for Boston. So it's everybody, it's anybody, but it's so cool to be able to help them and to encourage them and to say, yeah, runs are not always going to be easy. And you're going to have hard stuff. You're going to have ones that you feel like you can't do. There are days you're not going to want to get out the door, but guess what? We're going to check in on you. You are going to have accountability. And if that's what gets you out the door, great. We are going to cheer you on. We're going to be there when it's not the best run, but we know it's all going to come together on race day.
I love that. That is so fun. And you're so accessible to anybody.
I try.
Yeah.
Because I'm just an everyday runner. I have crappy runs like anybody else. And one of my favorite books is Bravey by Alexi Pappas. And in it, she talks about the rule of thirds.
Okay.
1/3 of your runs will be great. 1/3 of your runs are going to be okay. And 1/3 of your runs are going to be awful.
Yeah.
And whether that's because you're not hitting your pace, you're not hitting the mileage, it feels terrible, you're going to have that bottom third. And that's okay. And that has allowed me to reframe my own runs and the athletes and to say, look, great, you had a crappy run. Guess what? You just got one of those out of the way. So good. You want to get those out of the way before you show up to your race.
That is so good.
Who wants a bad day on race day? So
Oh,
have
yeah.
the bad days while you train.
That's really good. So clearly there have been some lessons that you've learned from running.
Very much so.
So what are some of those?
The first is that you probably should check out the course before you agree to sign up for a race.
Oh, okay.
And so this goes back to one of the questions that I may be jumping ahead to about, do you have any memorable races? And the answer is clearly yes, because it was terrible.
Okay.
A friend of mine convinced me to sign up for a nighttime trail marathon in Texas in August. And I just said, sure, where's the link? And it wasn't until after I signed up that I looked at the race website, I looked at the course description, I looked at the course, and it said they use a state park that has the hardest mountain biking trails in the Houston area. And I thought, what did I get myself into? And it was so bad. It was hot and humid, and it was pitch black. And these trails just went up and down, and they had switchbacks, and you had to do 5 loops. So the problem is you do loop 1, and now you know how bad it is, and you have to do it 4 more times. And so, oh man, I was sweating cutoffs. And so I finished loop 1, I finished loop 2, and my boyfriend at the time, now my husband, was away for work, and he was going to go to sleep. And so I said goodnight to him, and I go and I do the 3rd loop, and I so badly wanted to quit. And I was this close to wanting to quit, and the only thing that stopped me was if I quit, it would have been because I wasn't having fun. And I realized that I would have been so embarrassed the next morning to have to tell him, hey, guess what? I didn't finish this race. I quit. And it's not because I fell. It's not because I got hurt. It's not because I missed a cutoff. It was because I wasn't having fun. And so those remaining loops were not fun, but I did it. And I stuck it out, and I got the medal, I got the shirts, and I will never, ever do that race ever again.
I was just about to ask, do you think you'll go back and
Nope.
do it? Okay.
Nope.
No.
And I saw the race director maybe a few years afterwards, because he was putting on a lot of trail races in Texas. And so after a race, I sat down with him. I'm like, hey, remember that Night Moves trail marathon? And he starts laughing. And I was like, that was terrible. And he goes, yeah. He goes, that place is no joke. And I'm like, yeah, and I am never coming back to do that again.
That is wild.
Yep.
Okay. All right. But I like how you had that internal dialogue with yourself.
Yes.
You're like, what's the reason why?
Yeah.
Because sometimes there are legitimate reasons why
Yes.
somebody gets injured
Yes.
and it's bad enough and you need
Yep.
CPR or first aid or whatever it is. And I think sometimes as runners, we do try to negotiate with ourselves and be like, oh no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then we do wind up hurting ourselves even more. And I'm sure as a coach, you've seen that too, where you're like, whoa, let's back off here.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are times where we're like, this is stupid. I can just stop.
Yep.
And then having that internal dialogue. So being smart about it, I guess is what I'm saying, of like when to know when to keep going.
Right.
And when to be like, no,
Right.
it's okay.
And sometimes there are great reasons for stopping. I love the phrase that DNF means did nothing fatal. And you can come back and you can do it again if you want. But to me, finally realizing that my reason for wanting to stop was not physical. It was all mental. And I just didn't want to be that person because I know it would have eaten me up.
And you would have to come back and redo it.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm not coming
Oh,
back.
no. I'm done. That's not happening ever again.
That is great. That is so good. Okay. So this one's going to be a 3-part question.
Okay.
So it is going to be, what's your favorite race? But I want to know, what is your personal favorite? What's your favorite for pacing?
Ooh.
And then what's a favorite for trail?
Okay.
Is that okay? Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Now, may I go in reverse order?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you see that nice flat parking lot outside? I could wipe out and faceplant on that parking lot. So I actually don't do many trail races.
Okay.
Because I am a klutz.
Okay.
I did ballet for many years. I do not know why my parents spent so much money on that, because I am not graceful at this age right now. Those skills did not transfer over into adulthood. So trails will likely be the death of me.
Okay.
So yes, I try to stay away from those.
Okay. Well, you did the one in Texas.
Yes, but
Okay.
that was very, very early on.
Okay.
So I've learned my lesson since then.
Okay.
Now with pacing, so I'm going to kind of branch out in two ways. For pacing a race, there is nothing like a big race, like a world major or like another race that has 20, 30,000 people. The energy that you get from the spectators, from the runners, from everything, it is incredible. It is sometimes hard to hold pace in races like that because you are just weaving around people the entire time. And as a pacer, you've got to stay on pace. So if there is a crowd in front of you, you need to find a way to go around it or to maneuver and not risk making your runners go too slow. So Rome and London have been wonderful for pacing. The scenery is great. The crowd support is amazing. The runners are just so friendly and welcoming, and they're thankful for me. And I turn it right back around. I'm like, no, I am thankful for y'all. You don't understand how much fun this is. And then the flip side of that is a really, really small race. So you go and you do these races that have 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people, and you are going to get stepped on and kicked and pushed and elbowed, not on purpose.
Right.
But you can't help it. There are so many people. So what always resets me is doing a small race. And there is one out in western Nebraska. It's called the Monument Marathon. And it is amazing. The scenery is absolutely stunning.
Sure.
They had 600 people in all for their race last year. And I loved it. Race morning logistics were easy. I didn't get kicked, stepped on, or elbowed once. We had room to spread out, and it just was amazing. And they had so much energy, just like a world major, but on just smaller scale, where I didn't have to worry about fighting thousands of other people for parking or porta potty lines that took an hour. Or what if I can't get to the start because of traffic? It was not like that. So little races like that are just so good. They kind of reset my soul.
I love that. Oh, that's so good. I do have to ask. So my favorite race around here is Battleship 12K. So have you done that one yet?
No.
Whoa. So they always honor a branch of the military service. And you've gotten to meet my son, Pate, which you've been so good to him, and I appreciate that. And so his senior year of high school, they honored Coast Guard.
Yay!
And so it's just such a fun memory and all that. But you sitting here, I was like, oh, I wonder if you were here for Coast Guard, because that would have been epic. So I love that.
Yeah. So we've only been in Mobile for 2 years. And I remember hearing about it when I first came here and first started running, because people were talking about different things. And I'm like, oh, that's such an interesting distance. I don't even know how I would strategize that because it's not a half marathon.
Sure.
But also it's not a 10K, and you don't want to treat it like it's a 10K because you still have more to do. So I don't know how I would approach that distance.
I'll just go ahead and let you know, too, the first mile is all downhill.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So you're looking and you're like, wow, I am speeding.
Does that mean the last mile is uphill?
No. And so you know where Battleship is?
Yes.
Okay. So you do go up that.
Okay.
Okay. But in the past, we've ran into, you have to go like around the parking and all that into the Battleship. So it does end flat.
Yeah.
You do have to go up
Okay.
the bridge.
You can't get around that here.
You can't, but it's there. But that one's so fun because I love watching people that have never done that race before. Because what happens is there's this, it's so iconic. You're running and you see the Battleship right up close. It's right there. And even though you know it from a distance.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, it's right there.
Yep.
And people will stop on the bridge and they take pictures because you can see the Battleship right behind them.
Nice.
Absolutely stunning. The other cool thing about this is that anybody that has served in the military, that they get a red bib.
Ooh.
So we as civilians, when we see somebody with a red bib, we get to personally tell them as we're running, thank you for your service.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it will dehydrate me in a heartbeat because I get so emotional at that race. It's so patriotic. It's just so, it embodies the American runner. You know, you're just like, this is why we're here. We get to do this. We get to go run. And and the medals are always really cool.
Yay.
So I'm just saying, it's November 16th, Kimmie.
Okay.
Do it. Yeah.
I will put that on my list.
Speaking of, thank you to you and your husband for, I understand that he serves in the Coast Guard, but I also know that that takes a toll on the family. So thank you guys for your service in serving this country so we can run free.
Thank you. The Coast Guard has really provided so many neat opportunities. We never thought we would end up in a lot of the places where we've been.
Sure.
So it's been such a cool adventure, and to see and hear some of the stories that he comes home with, it's really cool. And the Coast Guard is actually how we met.
Get out of here.
So in my first year of, I'm going to do a 5K, I'm going to do a 10K. The other thing on my list was the Keys 100 relay. It's a 100-mile relay that starts in Key Largo, and it goes to Key West. And I had seen it 3 or 4 years before I actually decided to do it. And at the time I saw it and I was not running. And I'm like, man, these people are crazy. This is the middle of May in the Keys. And so when I really got into running, I'm like, I want to do this. And I started Googling, and I realized that the Coast Guard, especially down in South Florida, they make a lot of relay teams, and they do it as part of their Run to Remember weekend. And so I found a website, I sent an email, and I said, hey, I would love to do this. At the time, my cousin was in the Coast Guard, and I was like, I do feel a connection to the Coast Guard. If there's any team who needs a runner, I would love to do it. And they just randomly put me on a team. And so I was the only civilian on the team.
Wow.
5 other people from the Coast Guard, and we had a blast. It was so great. And so one of the people on the team, we kept in touch. And so we ran the race in May. He had emailed me in August and said, we're going to do a Ragnar relay in February. Do you want to do it? I was like, sure. So I do that, and I meet who is now his wife, and she was also in the Coast Guard. She and I became fast friends, and so we have done so many races together, but we always kept in touch. And so years go by, so we're now talking 4 or 5 years ahead. And so I talk her into doing a 6-hour race. And so she said, okay. And she goes, well, I'm going to invite my friend Dan to come because when the race is over, it's in the town where he lives, and we're just going to hang out in the park and drink beer. I'm like, I like hanging out and drinking beer. And that's all she said. And so she invites him. He's there. I meet him after the race. Hey, I'm Dan. Hey, I'm Kimmie. And I hand him my phone, and I said, can you take a picture? So Morgan and I are trying to get all pretty as you can get after a 6-hour race. And so I didn't realize it, but at the time, he's taking selfies. So we finally get situated. He takes these pictures, and then afterwards, now I did not look at the phone.
Yeah.
So then afterwards, we all go to brunch, and it wasn't until I got home that then I looked at my phone, and I saw the selfies. And so by then, my friend Morgan had started a group text, so I had his phone number. And man, I must have been feeling real sassy, because I don't do this, but I texted him and I said, thanks for the selfies. Is that so I won't forget you? And he wrote back, you said take a picture. Next time, be more specific.
Oh, whoa.
So therein started our conversation, because I'm like, ooh, you are sassy and I like this. And so, so Morgan now claims that it was a setup, even though she never told either of us that at the time.
Wink, wink.
But maybe she wanted to see if it worked out first.
I love that.
Yep.
So running not only has, running has literally gifted all these incredible things.
Friends, love, travel, adventure, just a million things that if we had been having this conversation, let's say 15 years ago, that would not be the case.
Sure.
So you never know what's going to happen, but I always say running brings the best people into your life.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you for sharing that story. I love that story. And shout out to Morgan.
Yeah.
For the hookup.
Yeah.
Wait, girl.
Yeah, she did a good job. Now, also, I will say, it is very nice in that because Dan and I met at the end of a 6-hour race, I can always go back to, you knew what you were getting into. You didn't meet me at the end of the 5K. This was at the end of a 6-hour race. So you had an inkling of, she might be a crazy runner girl.
I love that. Oh, I love that. That's precious. So I want to shift, especially from your coaching perspective. What does routine look like for you? So what does race day, race week, what does that look like for you, routine wise?
So a lot of times it does involve travel.
Okay.
I love doing races here, there, and everywhere. So I build in travel so that I am getting where I need to go well in advance. And that's just for my own sanity. If there's a flight delay or other snafu, I don't want to be the person who is potentially going to miss packet pickup. So I usually aim to travel about 3 days before a race.
Wow, okay.
Just so I can get settled. And then day before the race, I'm trying to stay off my feet as much as possible.
Okay.
Easier said than done. Because if you are there as a pacer, you are probably working an expo.
Okay.
And I love expos. I love meeting people and talking to people. And it is really hard to do that. I might start sitting down, and as soon as someone comes over, I am on my feet and I am just ready to talk and go over everything. And that's not always great. So I do try to limit expo time to 2 days before the race. So day before, usually try to just have a nice lazy day. Not a ton of walking around, an early dinner, hopefully early to bed. Lay out my clothes as best I can to make race morning easy and smooth. Prep the coffee because that's an essential for the morning. Make sure breakfast is at least somewhat there, whether it's going to be a bagel or oatmeal or toast with peanut butter, and just really get things, as many items on the to-do list checked off so that race morning isn't going to be crazy and frantic.
I like it. I like that a lot. What about you cross the finish line and you're done with the race? What does post-race look like for you?
I love having a post-race drop bag with either a clean shirt, a jacket, some OOFOS to get out of my sneakers and to put on my recovery sandals. I have gotten to the habit of putting a can of bubbly element into my drop bag because that is such a treat after. So I can start hydration, I can start getting my electrolytes back, and then I am hanging out at the finish line. One of the things that we kind of joke around about as pacers is there is something called the power of the pole.
Ooh, okay.
And so as long as you have that pacing pole in your hand, most times people are not going to try to get you away from the finish line right away. So that allows me a lot of times the ability to stay and cheer on people and to high five who's coming across and to be there for every other pacer, to give them a hug and to tell them how great they did and to see their finish line jumps and antics because that's really fun. And then I am all about food. I love, I'll be honest, I love to eat. Like, I think I am my cat.
Okay.
I like to nap. I like to eat. And I also like soft, cozy things.
Okay, yes.
And so, yeah, after a race, I am all about let's find some good food.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm not really that picky.
I was about to ask the favorite food.
It just depends. Like, if it's somewhere where it's really cold, I typically want something warm. And maybe it's a bowl of noodles. Maybe it's pizza. If it's been a really hot race, I might opt for, I don't know, a sandwich or something else. But yeah, get me food as soon as possible. Not a banana. That's not going to cut it. I want real food.
What is your favorite running item? You cannot hit the pavement without this item.
Oh, this is going to surprise nobody.
Okay.
It's my hydration vest. And it's so much just a part of me and my gear that when I don't show up on the odd occasion that I am not wearing it, people are usually like, Kimmie, where's your vest?
Wow.
And I will admit, it is my security blanket.
Okay.
It's got all of my stuff. It has my water. It has my electrolytes. It's got pockets for snacks. It's got eye drops. It's got a credit card. It's got dude wipes, hand sanitizer. It's got chapstick. It's got everything. So I love it. And I'm so used to wearing it that when I don't wear it, I kind of feel naked. It's if you get in your car and you don't put your seatbelt on, and you're like, whoa, something doesn't feel right. So
have you named your vest?
I have not.
Okay. I figured you had a fun name for it.
No, and I should. But what's really sad is that this one is on its last legs.
Oh.
So things are starting to rip.
Oh.
And I'm like, no, honey, you can't go anywhere. Like, I need you.
I've broken you in.
Yes, we have been so many places and we have done so many things and you cannot leave me.
Do you retire your vest like a jersey, put it up on the wall, or?
I probably should just burn it.
Okay.
And send it to its demise that way in something very bright and full of flames.
I just like, all right, bombers, we're having a bomb.
Right.
We're gonna.
That might be the way it has to go.
Absolutely. That is great. Let's talk shoes.
Yeah.
What do you like to run in?
I'm pretty easy.
Okay.
I don't have a super funky foot, so I can do a lot of different brands, a lot of different types. So right now I'm rotating between some New Balance. I have Mizuno. Every now and then I'll go back to Nike. I used to love Brooks. Rachel was super sweet. She gave me a pair of Asics that didn't fit her, so I'm back on the Asics train. So it's just a matter of what I grab and sometimes what color I want to wear.
Oh.
That determines, am I wearing something that's black, or is it pink, or is it going to be purple?
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Fueling. You've mentioned about snacks.
Yep.
So on your long runs, what does that look like?
So I love real food on a run.
Okay.
But that can be hard because you can only carry so much in those pockets. So, oh gosh, I've done everything from little granola bites to chocolate-covered almonds, chocolate-covered raisins. I'll do Skittles. I will do peanut butter pretzels, but mainly when I am pacing, because I don't necessarily want to carry all of that food. I will do Tailwind.
Okay.
I love it because it's the calories, it's the electrolytes, it's giving me some flavor. So it's great because it forces me to sip and to sip often. And I think that's one of the things that as runners, we sometimes forget, oh, it's been a really long time and I haven't drank anything. So when I pace, I actually wear 2 watches. One of them is set up to have an alert every half mile. And that is the alert to, hey, take a sip of your water and Tailwind.
Wow.
So that I do not get behind on hydration and fueling.
That's smart.
It
I like that.
works if I listen to it.
Oh, okay.
So in theory, it's perfect. You get busy talking to people and you're like, oh yeah, I heard that go off. I'll sip in a minute. And then you're like, oh, the next alert just went off.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. When you're not pacing and when, let's say you're off for a training run, do you listen to music when you run?
Yes.
Okay.
If I'm solo.
Okay.
So I really do appreciate what music can bring to a run, whether it's to distract you, whether it's to motivate you. But I do like when I am with people to be fully engaged and in the moment and to be able to talk to them and to hear questions and just take in what's going on. So yes to music, but not always.
Okay. What is your playlist?
Little bit of everything.
Okay.
Right now, I am currently obsessed with yacht rock. And it sounds ridiculous because it's one of those things where you're like, wait, what? Am I one of those people? But man, there is something just so nice and easy. And you're kind of like, I can bop along to this. And it's not going to really pump you up where you're going to sprint out there. It's just going to keep you going. And it's so fun. And so sometimes my Pandora will be set to yacht rock.
Okay.
If I'm doing other stuff, I have a mix of everything from Cyndi Lauper, Janet Jackson to Rage Against the Machine and Offspring and Metallica.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite varied.
A little hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm sure as a coach and obviously with all the running that you've done that you fully believe in recovery.
Yes.
So what is a recovery day and what does recovery day look like for you? But also, do you have a favorite recovery item?
I do.
Okay.
So I was listening to a podcast that you did with Kit. And he had talked about OOFOS as recovery sandals. And I'm like, man, OOFOS are just so ingrained in my daily life that I forget that they are great for recovery. But I wear them all the time. So I feel like that's not necessarily super recovery for me. But after a long run, I will come back and I want to get into my compression boots. So many, many years ago, well, maybe not that many years ago, but for Christmas, my husband surprised me with a set of Air Relax boots. And I was blown away.
Sure.
I never even thought about having that as a gift. So when I opened, so I see this big box, I'm like, what is this? And as I'm unwrapping it and I'm seeing what it is, I'm like, oh my gosh.
You didn't even ask for it.
No.
Well, good job, Dan.
I know.
What?
And so, yeah. And this was, so in the Coast Guard, we think about where we were, which helps us gauge how many years ago it was.
Okay.
So this was 3 moves ago. This was in New Jersey. And so I was bringing them back and forth when I would go to Florida. And so, yeah, they have been so good. And so I will pop them on my legs. And sometimes, so a setting usually goes for like a 15-minute session. And sometimes I will sit there and before I realize it, I'm like, oh, I've been in here an hour and a half because I've done this 6 different times.
Whoa.
And it's relaxing. It's almost like getting a massage where it's just feeling so good. And it just feels like a little bit of a way to say, hey, legs, thanks for what you did because you worked really hard and I want to make sure you're okay.
I love that.
Yeah, they're so good.
Oh, that's when we went to the running event this past year, Theragun, they had a station and they have boots out. And they were like, we're trying. I was like, why, yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll be back.
I know.
I was living my best life.
Yeah.
There's something about being reclined.
Yep.
And you're just like, I'm just going to sit here.
Yes.
And you're like,
Yes.
so I do not own a pair, Gray. Just throwing that out there.
Yet.
But good job, Dan.
Yeah.
That was a really cool gift.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. He's super thoughtful.
Yeah.
Has the best surprises. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
You're like, how does he top this?
Right?
Wow, that's really cool. I love, and not only that, but it just shows that he supports you in your running.
Yeah.
And believes in the importance of your recovery.
Yeah. Also, he's very good about telling me when I need to back off of things because what he has said, and this is very true, is that he does not want to see me injured because he knows if I do not have the ability to go out and do a run, that I am not going to be a happy person. So I'm not going to say that the gifts are self-serving because they are not, but he absolutely understands the importance of recovery.
Absolutely, yeah. When you're not running, do you have a cross-training activity that you like to do?
I should.
Okay.
I was better about that in the past when I was injured because I was like, oh, of course I'm going to cycle and of course I'm going to strength train and I'm going to do all these things for my hips and my glutes and my quads. And I get really into it. And then as soon as I'm feeling good and I can get back to running, it falls by the wayside. And so that is one thing I know I need to do better on because running is great, but we are so much stronger when we cross-train.
Absolutely, yeah. That's one of the things that I've struggled with, injuries. And I've said, I will never not strength train again because when I was just doing, and I know like it was a lot of cardio with running and just pickleball, that's where I tore my calf. And so it was like, you're putting all this time and time again, same damage that you're doing with running and forward motions, all that jazz. And it was sprinting. Yes, I get not endurance with pickleball, but I wasn't doing anything strength train because that was all my time was right there. Because you only got so much time for running.
Right.
And you only got so much time for strength training or stretching or anything else like that.
Yep.
So you're like, oh, I'm going to go do something fun. And now I'm like, I have seen the light and I'm like, it is way too important.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's almost like hot sauce. A little dab will do you.
Yeah.
You don't need to spend 3 hours in the gym hitting the weights.
I don't need a max.
No.
I don't want a max.
And 10 minutes. 10 minutes is better than nothing. So I really do want to get back into it because if that's what keeps the injuries away, it's so worth the 10, 15, 20 minutes.
That's good. I like that. That's why I really like where I work out at is because it's very run specific.
Nice.
And they'll say, I don't know if you've met Emily Bullock.
Yeah.
So she's one of the coaches. And so she'll be like, hey, if you're running, this is what this is helping with. And I love that because I can picture that.
Yep.
Because I can see the run. And so I say, okay, this is where we're strengthening at. So shout out to Emily and the coaches. They're doing a great job with strength training. Absolutely. So obviously you have people that come to you that are either new to running or coming back from an injury. But somebody listening, what would you tell them that is like, I don't know if running is for me? There's still a lot of misconceptions when it comes to running.
Yep.
So what is a piece of advice you would tell somebody that's like, I want to get into running, but I'm not sure how, or that's coming back from an injury?
Start slowly. And that could be pace. That could be the number of days you're doing it. And I love, 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 love run walk intervals. I will say that I did not realize how much I was going to love them until I was getting ready to pace Disney. And all of their pacers, regardless of the finish time, use Galloway, the run, walk, run. And so I started practicing it. And I would finish 7, 8, 9, 10 miles and get back to the house and be like, I feel like I didn't do anything. I feel amazing. And it really is the incorporation of the walk breaks. So, whether it is coming back from injury, whether it's someone who says, I've never run before, but I want to do this, use intervals and start slowly. And maybe it's 30 seconds of running, 30 seconds of walking. Maybe it's 15 seconds of running and 15 seconds of walking. It'll build endurance. It'll build speed. It'll build strength. And then you can go from there. There's nothing that says, and I think that's the problem. People look at you and me and they're like, well, they can just go out and run 4 or 5 miles and it's no big deal. It's like, yeah, but that's not where we started.
Right.
And it's okay to say, I'm going to do this 2 days this week. And then maybe in a month, I'll go to 3 days and to build from there. But it doesn't have to be 0 to 100 on day one.
I love that. I love that you brought that up because this past Wednesday at the Run and Try event, we had a conversation with somebody who said that. She was like, I really want to do a marathon, but you got to run the whole thing. And I was like, you sure no don't.
No.
Like mine, I was run walk intervals. All my halves have been run walk intervals.
They're awesome.
Sometimes you just need that moment. And we have a sport that's outside. And so if it is super windy, I'm not going to be able to run and keep that pace. The way. So it's like, why am I? And I paid to do this. I'm going to have fun.
Yeah, do it any way that you want.
And I love the thing about running too, especially with like newer runners, is that I think it goes back to what you said. You got to go and you got to just be engrossed in it. Like you got to go to a big race because what you're going to see is people doing run walk intervals at different speeds, at different times, just like what you nailed it. You said, if you want to do 15, 15, some do a 31, some do a 130, whatever it is. You're going to see people stopping and walking all the time. Just like you're going to see marathoners, just some that are just swinging on by. It's yours. You make it what you want.
And at Disney, it's amazing. They have a 3:30 full marathon pacer who will do run walk intervals. And they also have the 7-hour pacer who's going to do run walk intervals. And those intervals will be different. But if you are with a pacer, that's what they're doing. And it is so it's fun. It's different. It does take some practice. But oh my gosh, I wish that somebody would have said to me, because that was my mindset too of, I don't know how I'm ever going to do a marathon. I have to run the whole thing. And if someone had said, you really don't have to, it would have made me feel a little bit less nervous about trying the distance.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good. When you want to give up, which you don't.
I do.
Because you're Kimmie. When you're tackling those hills and you want to quit because it's hot and humid and stupid, what are we doing? Is there a mantra that you have? Is there something that you tell yourself to keep going?
Yeah. So this is going to go back to someone else who I met through running. There was a person who randomly was at an ultra where, by the way, I was there to crew Morgan and met this guy in the morning just because I happened to be standing next to him around a bonfire. We were all trying to stay warm. And at the start, I didn't even know his name. I just knew he was from Michigan. Okay. So for the majority of the day, I called him Michigan Guy. Well, I found out later his name was Alex. And so Alex and I have stayed in touch. And my favorite mantra came from him. And it was, I can handle this. And so that originally came out when he was talking to me and we were both going through some kind of life difficulties. And he said that was a mantra that he was continually trying to get his kids to understand, that no matter what they were going through, that they could handle it. And I was like, okay. And then I started applying it to running. And so what I tell myself and what I tell my pace groups is I can handle this, even if it's just for 2 minutes. I can handle it for 2 minutes. And then at the end of those 2 minutes, I can check in with myself and ask, can I handle another 2 minutes? And the answer is yes. It's just another 2 minutes. And so sometimes in the last mile of a race, I am checking in and saying, I can handle it. And I've had pace groups where they will shout that. I mean, I'm talking full on goosebumps because one person will start to shout it and then another person will shout it. And I'm like, we can handle it.
Oh, I'm totally stealing that.
Yeah.
That's a great mantra.
And whether you handle it for 5 minutes, whether you handle it for 2 minutes, whether you handle it for a minute, and then you check in and you say, can I handle it for another minute? It's all you need to do.
That is so good.
Well, again, shout out to Alex. That was all him.
Wow. Okay. Because that applies so much to life,
Yep.
too. I'm just thinking about, like, when you have a bad day.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? I can handle this.
Mhm.
It's going to be okay.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
Or when we're hitting Hall at the Dollar and can handle this going up this hill.
Oh my gosh. That hill going up towards Cottage Hill, I get to a point where I'm about halfway up and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I really want to stop and I really want to turn around and go the other way. And then I'm like, 2 minutes, I can handle it.
I love that.
It works.
Oh, that's so good. Okay. I can handle this. I
Yeah.
got it. Okay. All right. What are your goals?
I want to keep running. So another friend of mine, Bob Becker, is 80 years old.
Wow.
He just finished the Badwater
I was just about to
130.
say.
Yes.
What? He's the oldest.
Yes.
Right?
He is now the official oldest finisher of Badwater at 80 years old.
And he was smiling when he came
Yes.
across the finish line.
And also, he beat the cutoff by 3 hours. He is incredible.
Yeah.
He is a personal friend. I just am so grateful to know him, and I am so inspired by him. And so normally what I do is in a marathon, I tell my group that at mile 13, we're going to start the Kimmie countdown. And we're going to have stories and facts and different things. But I always tell them, I have a really great story for you, but you have to wait until mile 20. And at mile 20, I tell the story about Bob. Now, what I used to do is to tell the story about when he was 70, because he did a double Badwater. He basically ran the normal 135, but then he turned around and he went back to the start.
Because why not?
At 70 years old, why?
Because he can handle this. He's like, I got this.
Yes.
Oh, my
Yes.
word.
And then at 74, he went to Brazil to run the Brazil 135 in the rainforest at 74.
Again, why not? I mean, that was a walk.
Right? And so now my Bob Becker story is, yes, at 80 years old, he is running 135 miles. So that is my goal. I want to be Bob. I want to be 80 years old, maybe not doing 135 miles.
Really? That's not.
But if I'm still out there at marathons at 80 years old,
Right.
I have one life.
Right? That's incredible.
Yeah.
I've been watching the reels on him and just like how he's crossing the finish line
Yeah.
and he's like just smiling. And then he's like, thanks, guys. Thanks for being here.
And
like, he's
that is so genuine. He is the nicest, most down-to-earth guy, just so approachable. And another person who didn't find running until later in life. This is not someone who grew up marathoning since he was 20.
Wow.
So yeah, he's just such an inspiration. So if I had to say what my goal is, I want to be Bob.
I want to be Bob. Run like Bob.
Yep.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's awesome.
man, that's insane. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, my goodness. When you're not running, what are you passionate about? What do you like to do?
Oh gosh, everything.
Yeah.
Food, wine, cats, reading, travel.
All the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eating.
Eating. Yes. Yeah. So I love Ethiopian food.
Oh, do you?
I will
Okay.
search it out when I travel to a new city. My first Google search is, where can I find Ethiopian food?
Wow.
And-
how did you get on that train?
So once again, this goes back to Dan. The Coast Guard was taking him very frequently to the DC area. And DC has a very large Ethiopian population.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, I guess I should try this. We've got an abundance of restaurants. They're highly rated. I've never done this before. Let's give it a whirl. And I was hooked.
Wow.
So yeah, it's incredible. If Mobile ever got an Ethiopian restaurant, I swear I would be there probably 3 days a week. And if I am in a place where they have that, I will get that as my pre-race dinner.
Wow.
Mainly because it's so good, but then the leftovers are amazing. And so when I get back to my hotel room, if there are Ethiopian leftovers, oh, it is on like Donkey Kong.
And Dan knows that those are your leftovers.
Yes.
And he's like, we're not messing with that.
Yep.
I love that. Man, shout out to Dan.
Yeah.
Good job, Dan.
He's such a great guy.
He really That's amazing. What is your favorite length to run? Whether it's training run or it's race day. Do you have a favorite mileage?
I love a half marathon.
Okay.
It is approachable. The training is not obscene. It is not where you have to go out and spend 3 or 4 hours on a long run on a Saturday or a Sunday. The training is not a bear the way that marathon training is.
Sure.
And let's be honest, you do not want to wing a marathon.
No.
You've got to put in the time, and there's no shortcut. And not that there's a shortcut for a half, but it's a really good distance. You can do it, and you should feel accomplished, but you are going to be done in time to go to brunch.
That's right.
And you are not going to be wiped out for a week afterwards. And I really, really appreciate that distance for just how awesome it is and how you can still run hard, but then you don't have to worry about recovery taking forever.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. I like that. Kimmie, any final words of wisdom, my friends?
So yes, just one. Quality pacing matters. And I am obsessed with this. So Elevated began because my best friend and I started having conversations about how when you show up on race day, you see a pacer and you probably will not question, do they know what they're doing? And outside of our circle, there are people who might run one marathon in their life or one half marathon in their life, and they deserve a really great pacer who is trained and who knows what to do and how to do it, and they're not going to go too fast or too slow. And that's not the case everywhere. So if I have a running legacy, I hope that it is changing the face of pacers so that there is consistent quality across the board, no matter if you are here or across the world. And so that's really something that I hope will take hold as the years go by. And I hope that when we have our check-in in 10 years, I'm like, yeah, guess what? Quality pacing still matters, and we are still training pacers. And you know that when you show up to a race, you're going to have someone who says, I got you. We're going to do this.
I love that. You're changing the running world.
I hope
And
so.
that's beautiful.
Hope so.
I love that because it's one of the mindsets that I have on race day when I take a moment, I look around because I know that somebody is going through something.
Yeah.
Whether it's a great celebration or it's bad news.
Yep.
We're all in different chapters. And so to have that person that's going to be really speaking life into these other runners, holding that pole with that t-shirt, and all eyes are on them because they have to be.
Yep.
So this is who I'm entrusting. That's huge. Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what running and pacing is like in 5 years and 10 years.
That's beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
love that. Thank you for what you pour into the running community and pacers. And so if somebody wants to get connected, if they say, hey, if they're listening, they're like, you know what? I've done several races. I think I might be ready to be a pacer. Or, you know what? I do want a good running coach. Where do they find you, Kimmie?
So 3 different places.
Okay.
Instagram, Elevated Running and Pacing. Facebook, we have our group, Elevated Running and Pacing. Or email, elevatedrunningandpacing@gmail.com.
Nice. Kimmie, this has been so much fun.
Oh, thank you.
This has been amazing. And I feel like Dan was here too, even though he wasn't. Like, Dan, I'm such a fan. This has been so much fun, Kimmie. Thank you for taking time.
Oh, I
And
appreciate
I'm
it.
so glad the Coast Guard brought you.
Oh,
I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, it's great.
This has been fun.
Thank you.
Is Kimmie just not the most precious individual? Oh my goodness. Now, when I think about running, I think about how much Kimmie loves it. I mean, she is just so much fun, and she always has a smile on her face, and she's always like, good morning, guys. Like, how's it going? And that's after she's already put in 5 miles, and she's got like 20 more to go. Like, she's just that incredible, and she is somebody that I look up to. And again, so grateful that I got to know her story. I mean, just adorable. And again, her heart for the running community is amazing. So thank you, Kimmie, for sharing your story, for sharing your heart and what you're doing. I am so excited to watch your journey continue and just all the things that you're involved in. Like, absolutely incredible, my friend, just incredible. So thank you for sharing your story, your heart, and for being you when it comes to running. Like, absolutely love you. I think we should get you and Keith together one day, and because he hates running and you love running, and let's just see what happens, guys, at a run. Oh man, I love this running community so much. Absolutely love. So thank you, Kimmie. And I'm so glad that we've gotten to know each other and become fast friends. So I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed, that our stories have intertwined. So thank you, Kimmie. Again, thank you to our Patreon family members. They are making this podcast possible this month and every month. So guys, if you love this podcast, if you love what we do and our mission here, then we would love to have you join us. You can go to runyourstory.com, learn more about becoming a Patreon family member. We would absolutely love to have you. Again, huge shout out to our main man, the man behind all the things Run Your Story, and that is Greg Gilliard from Gilliard Tech Services. He edits our podcast, updates our website. He is the man with the plan, and he's got big dreams for Run Your Story, and I'm so grateful for that. And he loves this podcast, and so I'm so grateful to have such an amazing support system. And he does the things that I don't want to do or I can't do. And he lets me do the fun stuff, so for that I'm extremely grateful. But if you need a website that needs to be updated, or you're looking at where to start at, or you have no idea what you're envisioning, reach out to Gilliard Tech Services. You can also find his information on our website as well. He supports his podcast. He loves the running community, and I believe in pouring into those who pour into us. So Greg Gilliard from Gilliard Tech Services, he is your man. And Mars Hill, thank you so much for giving us a safe place to be able to share our stories. And we are so grateful to have a place that believes in this podcast, believes in the running community, and believes in what we're doing. So shout out to Mars Hill Church. If you're looking for a place to go, definitely hit up Mars Hill. They love you as you are. So absolutely amazing. And again, thank you to everyone who listens. And if you've not read Dave's blog, you should definitely go check him out. We love Dave, the shoe guy. He's absolutely amazing. So definitely check out his blog. And don't forget to like, share, comment. We love to hear what you guys have to say. And we love the feedback. And we love seeing that you guys share the stories, because that's how they get out there. All right, guys, until next time, go run your story, because every story needs to be heard.